Picture this. A recording studio somewhere far, far away.
Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion. It's the end of the week, and I'm looking at Chocobo Racing on the PS1. Yes, indeed. And for those Final Fantasy fans out there, this will probably appeal to you no end. So I'm going to have a quick look at the options, because I don't know what the controls are. So let's have a look. I'm going to go into the controller setup right here. And I'm going to change the accelerator over to the X because it's just more convenient. You might have other ways you want to configure it, which is actually a plus already for this game, is that you can configure your controller setup. That is smashing. Yes. So I'm guessing it's like a racing game. I mean, the clue is in the title, Chocobo Racing. Plenty of options there as well, which is nice. I haven't actually played this before, so I couldn't have selected the continue where we left off, because I've not done anything to continue from, so we'll go into the storyline and see what we're going to get done. Okay, so, Final Fantasy fans, there's probably going to be things in here that make perfect sense to you, and there's probably going to be things that make absolutely no sense to me, although I do have a bit of Final Fantasy background, which is nice. Yes, I started my journey quite late though. PS2 with Final Fantasy X. I know. And it was just because the game looked so damn gorgeous, and that was what drew me into it, really. I do plan on going back and looking at all of the Final Fantasy games on this channel at some point, so do not fret. You Final Fantasy fans will get your fill, I promise. But yeah, this... and I also play Final Fantasy XIV online, so I know what a Chocobo is, yeah. Right, so... yes, Chocobo Racing. I don't know. I guess it's going to be a bit more sort of Mario Kart, and it's going to be with Final Fantasy characters instead of, well, Mario characters, because that would be a bit strange, wouldn't it? So I'm guessing you're kind of going to get abilities as you go along, power-ups on the course, that sort of thing. But we'll pick it up as we go along, because it's probably going to be quite a simple game to pick up and play. Right, so I've got 3 laps and I'm not going to be against anybody, apparently. My god, my Chocobo's doing like 91 miles per hour there. That's quite impressive for a bird, isn't it? Yes. So you can see there, let's have a look at the UI first. So you've got your booster up in the top left, you've got your lap time and how many laps you've got left and how many miles per hour you're doing. Then you've got your map below that, which shows you the layout of the course, really. But if you're like me and struggle to do 2 things at once, and you're going to struggle with actually just concentrating on the road and looking at the map at the same time. However, it's not impossible. Now, there's a bit of a weird thing here where you can press the accelerator and the brake at the same time and you sort of skid round corners, but I find that to be a bit of a strange combination. So if I have to use it, I'll use it, but I'm going to try my best to just crack on with it using the simple accelerate brake techniques that I already know from racing games anyway. So graphically, it's quite cute, isn't it? At least the main character is. I don't know, the courses are a little bit gaudy. There's not much to them. I mean, I think Mario Kart sort of puts it to shame in that respect, but I think this was this Square's first sort of racing game? I mean, I like the main character, he's quite cute. The fact that you can bomb around the track with turbo roller skates on is quite fun as well. So I guess that we're going to be introduced to some opponents at some point soon. And that is apparently Sid. Yes, it is. Right, so CID. Sid. He's in Final Fantasy 14. It's the only reason I know who he is. Yeah. But yeah, I like these little cartoon sort of cutscenes as well. They're quite nice. They'll add to the attraction for younger players, definitely. Because sometimes it's not about how the game plays, it's how about the game looks when you're a young person. I think as you get older, the looks of the game become less important and the gameplay becomes paramount. But do you know what? I quite enjoyed that little razz around the track on my own. So we'll see how we get on. I mean, I'm planning to give you at least 15 sort of minutes-ish of the game, so you'll get an idea of what we're going to be doing and how the game plays, how it looks, how it feels, and how the controller works. So we're going to go straight into that next. So basically, I think have we got to race this Moogle now? We will save because it's a good idea to do so. Yeah, the controller is actually really quite good, as in it's responsive to the button input, which is great. There's no controller lag, which is great, because if you have that, it can make or break a game. Really can. Game can look fantastic and it can play really well, but then if your controller doesn't do what you want it to when you want it to, then it lets the game down big time, doesn't it, really? Because it just takes the fun out of it. You're trying to do a jump and you mistime it, or you push the button and it doesn't do it when you want it to. Well, that kind of ruins your game experience, I think. So yeah, that's not a problem really, but this game has got great responsive controls, so that's another plus, which is always a good thing. Why does Moogle look really, really upset? Anyway, sort of sub-character type thing. If you know Final Fantasy 14, then the Moogles are basically like little delivery guys. They come and they give you emails in the game and stuff like that. Outside of that sort of bubble, I don't know what a Moogle's sort of responsibility or sort of existence purpose is. Maybe you guys can furnish me with comments, because I'm sure there's a lot of Final Fantasy fans out there that are just headbutting the screen right now and sort of like, that's not what a Moogle is for. Anyway, we're going to go again. I think we're going to select our Chocobo at this point, and he only has one ability, so I'm guessing we have to race the Moogle now. Never thought I'd hear myself say that in my lifetime, but here we go. Yeah, we're going to race a Moogle. There he is! Right, okay, so same again, razz around the course. This one looks a little bit more colourful. Bloody hell, he's got a bit of acceleration on him. Right, so you're gonna... Oh yeah, well, this now draws so many comparisons to Mario Kart. Yeah. So you've got power-ups on the track now. Each power-up does something different. Obviously, you are told what they do before you engage in the game. This one gives you a massive speed boost, which is quite cool, actually. I like that. The corners, I would say probably the tactic for corners is slow down rather than brake. Just take your finger off the accelerator button as you drift around the corners, and you do get quite a responsive reaction, which is always a good thing when it comes to racing. Although I do tend to find myself still on the grass verges and missing corners and bumping into walls. It's just the thing I do in racing games. I tend to have a power up and use it immediately. See, there I go. I'll use two power-ups there. I use my dash ability and I use the pickup, which is nice. You can see the pickups sort of trail behind you, which is a bit weird. And as you get more of them, I think they either trail more behind you or they stack up into one big one. I'm not quite sure how that works, but that's the sort of impression I get. But yeah, it's alright, isn't it? I bet the person who bought that house is wishing they hadn't. But you know, this is a nice place to set up a home. I think I'll It is nice and quiet, isn't it? And then all of a sudden you get racing past your house. Great stuff. But yes. Anyway, playability. Well, it's certainly got the playability factor. And I think, you know, this is going to appeal to all age groups. Final Fantasy fans, I'm looking more at you at this point, because I think that this is going to appeal more to you guys, because the characters that are in the game, you're going to recognise them from the series. So I think you're probably going to have more of a good time with this. If you're expecting Mario Kart for a PlayStation 1, I seriously would recommend holding fire until I do Crash Team Racing. Just saying that could be a better game. I'm not saying this is a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, but it doesn't bring anything new to the table, and that's kind of a problem. Mario Kart sort of nailed everything. Have I actually reviewed Mario Kart? I know I've done it on the GameCube. I must have a look at the other versions. But yeah, this is one of those games. I think it was I think there was a sequel planned, but I don't think it ever saw the light of day. I think it was going to be released on the Game Boy Advance, or it was one of the Game Boys. It was the more later models, and not one of the sort of Game Boy Color or anything like that. It was either the Game Boy Advance, or it was I can't remember the name of the bloody system now. But yeah, one of them handheld ones. Yes. We're not going to save the story here. We'll carry on. Replay value. I think for a younger player, it's probably going to have quite a lot of replay value. And obviously, being 2 players as well, you race against your friends. That's quite nice. Obviously, that gets it another point in my eyes, because, well, we know how I like my multiplayer games. So yeah, racing against a friend, few beers, and adults can have fun with this too. Now, the only criticism really I've got that's going to give this a bit of a docking is the fact that it's very short. The game itself is can be finished in about 2 hours. It's not a lot of game time really, which is a shame, because it could have been so much more. Even with its plethora of options that you can play through, the game just doesn't have lastability. You find yourself going back and just playing the same stuff over and over and over again. You're going to get pretty bored with it over time, which is a shame, because it had potential to be so much better. But I suppose if this is Square's first racing experience, then it actually comes across quite nicely done. I just feel the tracks could have been slightly more vibrant, with a bit more going on. Other than that, you know, it's like this rock dude here. He's quite fun. So we've got to try and race him, I guess, next. But yeah, I think as an all-rounder, it's okay. It's playable. It's nice to look at. The main characters are cute. So there's a lot of things that are going to appeal again to the younger gamer. I would say from 5 years up for this one. I can choose Moogle now, but I'm going to stick with my Chocobo because he's awesome. I can choose Flap. Oh, when did I unlock that? Okay, anyway. So we're going to have a little go on this, and it'll probably be about time to finish it off around about there anyway. So, let me know your thoughts on Chocobo Racing. Did you ever play this when it was first released? Did you finish it? What are your thoughts on it looking at it now? Are your memories tainted? Did it look better than you thought, or worse than you thought? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Did you play any other of the Final Fantasy series? And if so, what was your favourite one? And what would you like to see brought to the channel in the Final Fantasy series? Would you like me to do an entire run-through like I did with Zelda? Or would you like to have it periodically done? Let me know, because I'm always looking for feedback and how I can make the channel better for you. I'm quite happy to plod along just doing random reviews, to be fair, but if there's content that my viewers want, then content my viewers shall have. So, hey, twice in a week, we're doing well here, aren't we? Anyway, that's about it from me, folks. Thanks ever so much for tuning in, and absolutely blown away by the amount of subscribers. Thank you ever so much. And, you know, if you've got friends that like retro, recommend the channel. Bring them into the retro gaming world. Let us all explore this amazing world together. Yes. Okay, anyway, guys, that's it from me. I will be back very soon with a brand new review, and I hope you've enjoyed this one. So, thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in and staying with the channel. Thank you. There's not enough thank yous to go around, but there we go. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, it's bye for now. Ta-da!
Incoming transmission.